A reconnaissance and sabotage group of the Free Russia Legion, which is part of the Ukrainian army and is fighting against the occupying Russian army, has entered the occupied village of Velikaya Belozyorka in Zaporizhzhia region. The sabotage group intercepted soldiers of Akhmat unit in the village located 30 kilometers from the front line. The car transporting Akhmat fighters was exploded. 3 soldiers were killed as a result. The Legion fighters, who successfully carried out the operation, returned to their positions without suffering any losses.
Ukrainian forensic expert Vitaly Levchenko told Union in an interview about the condition in which the Russian Federation returns the bodies of the deceased defenders of Ukraine, whether there are signs of torture on them, and how the identification is carried out. Following negotiations in Istanbul in late spring, a large-scale repatriation took place. Ukraine managed to return the bodies of over 6,000 fallen defenders. A complex identification process is currently underway, which, according to Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko, could take over a year. Investigators, forensic experts, and criminologists work on this every day. Their mission is extremely difficult and at the same time vital, to allow people to bury their relatives who gave their lives for Ukraine with dignity. Unfortunately, the process is complicated, among other things, by the fact that the Russian side, either deliberately or through negligence, mixes up the bodies of Ukrainian and Russian fallen soldiers. This forces Ukrainian specialists to conduct additional examinations, which not only increases the workload but also significantly delays the process. Identifying such a large number of bodies is always a complex, time-consuming process. At the first stage, an initial inspection is carried out, the purpose of which is to record the numbers provided by the Russian side, check for the presence of explosive devices, weapons elements that may remain in the packages with the bodies. It is possible that items will be found that will allow us to start checking some data. The bodies are then stored in refrigerated trucks. The forensic and investigative phases of the work begin. All forensic medical examination bureaus of Ukraine are involved in this. They provide information to the main bureau of the CME on how many bodies they can accept at this time. Logistics routes are then built. The bodies from the refrigerated trucks are transported by representatives of civil-military cooperation. Forensic experts, investigators and criminologists examine these bodies, select all necessary biological samples and make a description. After the examination, the experts, depending on the situation, order and conduct various examinations: genetic, DNA, forensic odontology, dental examination, dactyloscopy, fingerprints, etc. As identification progresses, the bodies begin to be given to relatives for burial. Thus, places for examination are freed up, and the bureaus resubmit applications for accepting new bodies, he added. Recently, the Minister of Internal Affairs, Igor Klimenko, noted in his interview that the bodies repatriated by the Russian side are in very poor condition. They were stored in inappropriate conditions. From my experience, this is how it is. They are all in a state of deep putrefaction, often skeletonized. The Russian side does not sort the bodies. There are frequent cases when it transfers 3 or 4 bodies in one package. It is also known about the transfer of the bodies of Russian soldiers by it. Therefore, it is very difficult to predict how much time it will take. The head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs announced that the identification of the bodies will take approximately 13 months. I think we will still cope faster, but it is impossible to specify the exact time, he said. Operators of the Ukrainian Raid Battalion, part of the Unmanned Systems Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, successfully carried out an operation to destroy the Russian Strela-10 anti-aircraft missile system in Donetsk region. The incident occurred during a reconnaissance mission using a drone. Footage from the operation was published on the official SBS channel. During the mission, the drone was spotted by Russian military personnel who immediately launched a missile at it. However, the pilot managed to remotely perform a precise and sharp maneuver, thanks to which the device avoided being hit. After the unsuccessful launch, the SAM crew tried to hide the installation in a forest plantation. Despite the emergency shelter, the Ukrainian operators maintained contact with the target and continued tracking. When the Russian installation began to change position, the raid launched a precise strike on it. As a result of the attack, the anti-aircraft missile system was reportedly completely destroyed along with its crew. Strela-10 is a Soviet mobile, short-range anti-aircraft missile system. The system is designed to destroy low-flying air targets, including helicopters, attack aircraft, and drones. The system is mounted on the MT-LB tracked chassis, which provides it with increased cross-country ability. Target engagement range is up to 5 kilometers. Altitude of engagement is from 25 to 3,500 meters. Missile speed is up to 500 m/s. The system's response time is about 8 seconds. Ammunition load is up to 8 missiles. The cost of one Strela-10 installation, depending on the modification, is estimated at between 1.5 and 3 million US dollars. Earlier, media reported that the SBS showed footage of the first ever liquidation of the M1991. This is the first confirmed case of such equipment being destroyed by the Ukrainian military. The operation took place in the Novopavlovsk direction. Operators of the 413th Raid Battalion used an attack drone to hit the vehicle from behind. As a result of the strike, the M1991 ammunition detonated and one of the missiles pierced the cabin, in which there were 2 Russian servicemen. Judging by the video published by the fighters, both were seriously injured and fell out. After the cabin was penetrated, a chain reaction began. The entire vehicle detonated powerfully. The installation was completely destroyed. The M1991 MLRS is a North Korean analog of the Soviet Uragan, which, with an increased caliber of 240 millimeters and a range of up to 60 kilometers. The presence of such vehicles in service with the Russian forces became known only in April 2025. Then, the first video of this equipment appeared on the internet.